Okay. Blood tasted like copper on my tongue, but the real agony was the voicemail playing through my shattered phone. My sister was laughing. "Claire will handle it," she giggled while I bled out on the asphalt. I closed my eyes to die. Okay. Then my alarm clock started ringing. The transition from a brutal, agonizing death to the crisp, lavender-scented air of my own bedroom was so jarring I fell out of bed. I hit the hardwood floor, gasping, my hands frantically patting my chest, my ribs, my face. Okay. There was no glass embedded in my forehead. My legs weren't crushed beneath the dashboard of my mangled compact sedan. Okay. The deafening roar of the rain and the sirens on Interstate 405 was gone, replaced by the mundane hum of my refrigerator. Okay. I grabbed my phone from the nightstand with shaking hands. Okay. The screen wasn't cracked, and it wasn't smeared with my own blood. Friday, September 8th, 2023, 7:00 a.m. p.m. Okay. I stared at the glowing white numbers until my vision blurred. I was back exactly 1 year before the crash. 1 year before I would sacrifice my life, rushing to the police station in a torrential downpour to take the fall for my sister's third DUI. I sat on the floor for a long time, letting the memories of my previous life wash over me. For 26 years, I had been the invisible scaffolding, holding up the glittering, precarious monument that was Vanessa Bennett. Vanessa was the golden child, the beauty influencer with 8 million followers on a major social media platform and a face contoured by the gods. I was just Claire, the older, plainer sister, the crisis manager, the ghostwriter, the legal fixer, and the ultimate scapegoat. Every time Vanessa threw a tantrum, stole a campaign, or got caught bullying another creator, I was the one our parents summoned to scrub the internet clean. I wrote her apologies. I blackmailed her rivals. I negotiated her sponsorships with ruthless efficiency. I had traded my own youth, my fiancé Ethan, and eventually my life just to keep Vanessa's crown polished. And as I lay dying in that ditch, the last thing I heard was the accidental pocket dial from her manager's phone. Vanessa was sitting in a VIP booth at an exclusive Los Angeles lounge laughing. "Don't worry about the DUI, Derek. Claire will say she was driving, she always does. I'll just buy her a new car or whatever." A bitter, hysterical laugh bubbled up from my throat, breaking the silence of my apartment. I was alive, and I was never ever fixing her messes again. Right on cue, at exactly 7:14 a.m., my phone began to vibrate violently. The caller ID flashed. Derek Lawson, Vanessa's manager and on-again, off-again boyfriend. In my past life, this was the phone call that ruined my year. This was the morning the skincare scandal broke. It was the catalyst for Vanessa's near cancellation, a disaster I had spent 3 sleepless weeks fixing. I had hacked the original poster's account, bought 50,000 bot accounts to flood the comments with positive noise, threatened a waitress with a ruinous on-DA, and drafted a flawless, tearful apology video that saved Vanessa's multi-million-dollar holiday deal with the beauty retailer. It had cost me my wedding. Ethan had packed his bags the night I chose Vanessa's reputation over our rehearsal dinner. I took a deep breath, swiped the green button, and put the phone on speaker. "Claire, wake the hell up." Derek's voice was shrill, laced with panic and cocaine. "Are you in front of your laptop? Tell me you're on your laptop." "I'm in my kitchen, Derek," I said, my voice shockingly calm. "I was just about to make coffee. Are you insane?" "Have you checked social media? It is everywhere, Claire. The video from that exclusive Los Angeles lounge leaked." I leaned against the counter, inspecting my fingernails. "Which one? The one where she's drunk in the VIP room?" Derek screamed. "She's on camera, Claire. She's laughing about her new private label skincare line. She literally called her followers Midwest Zeros, who will buy my white-labeled chemical sludge as long as I put a pink bow on it." And worse, she admitted to stealing the packaging design from Nora Collins, the disabled indie artist she threatened to sue last month. The video is at 500,000 views, and Rebecca Stone from the beauty retailer's corporate office is already emailing me. "Oh, need to pull the kill switch. In my previous life, I had dropped my coffee mug. It had shattered on this very floor. I had sprinted to my home office, logged into my developer tools, and initiated a digital war. "Claire, are you there?" Derek yelled. "I need you to get the original video taken down for a copyright strike. Then I need you to draft a statement saying it's a deepfake. Call Daniel Reeves at the payroll firm. Tell him we need to bury this by noon, Derek," I said softly. "What? I don't work for you, and I don't work for Vanessa." There was a stunned silence on the other end of the line. "What kind of sick joke is this?" "Your sister is having a panic attack in my bathroom right now. Get on your computer." "Tell Vanessa to drink some water," I replied, "and tell her good luck with the deepfake excuse. Her neck tattoo is clearly visible. Have a great morning." I hung up. Then I went into my settings, blocked Derek's number, blocked Vanessa's number, and set my phone to Do Not Disturb. I walked over to my espresso machine, perfectly at peace. I was going to enjoy my coffee today. By 9:00 a.m., the internet was ablaze. I sat on my velvet sofa, sipping a perfectly frothed cappuccino, watching the drama unfold on my tablet like it was a prestige drama series. The original video posted by an anonymous burner account had skyrocketed from 500,000 to 3 million views. The hashtag #VanessaSludge was trending at #1 worldwide. People were dissecting the clip frame by frame. Nora Collins, the indie artist Vanessa, had driven into bankruptcy with false legal threats just to steal her floral packaging design, had posted a tearful reaction video. The court of public opinion was convening, and they were bringing out the guillotine. Usually, this was the time I would be furiously working the back channels. I would be calling Laura Mitchell, my contact on the moderation team at a major social media platform, cashing in major favors to suppress the algorithm. I would be crafting a distraction, a fake celebrity breakup to the tabloids to pull focus. Instead, I opened a new tab, found a beautiful boutique hotel in downtown Los Angeles, and booked a luxury suite for 2 weeks, because I knew exactly what was coming next. At 9:30 a.m. the heavy footsteps echoed in the hallway of my duplex. My parents owned the building, and they possessed a master key. The front door banged open. "Claire Elizabeth Bennett." My mother, Margaret, shrieked, storming into my living room. My father, Thomas, was right behind her, looking severely inconvenienced, adjusting his luxury watch. Trailing behind them like a wounded designer-clad ghost was Vanessa. She was wearing an oversized designer hoodie, her perfectly highlighted hair tied into a messy bun that probably took her stylist 20 minutes to perfect. She was sobbing, clutching a tissue to her face. "Why aren't you answering your phone?" Margaret demanded, her eyes scanning my relaxed posture. "The tablet, the empty coffee cup." "Derek has been trying to reach you for 2 hours. Your sister's career is imploding, and you're just sitting here." I calmly closed the tablet. "Good morning, Mom, Dad. Vanessa, please take your shoes off. I just had the rugs cleaned." Thomas scowled. "Claire, stop playing games. Get into your office." "Derek says the beauty retailer is threatening to pull the holiday end caps. Do you know how much money that is? That's a $3 million deal. Fix this." "No," I said. It was a single beautiful syllable. It felt like a stone dropping into a glass lake. The room went dead silent. Vanessa stopped crying, lowering the tissue. Her makeup was perfectly intact. She didn't look devastated. She looked furious. "What did you just say to me?" Margaret asked, her voice dropping to a dangerous whisper. I said no, I repeated, standing up. I smoothed out my linen trousers. "I am not fixing this." Vanessa got drunk in a public place. Vanessa insulted her fan base. Vanessa admitted to defrauding a disabled artist and selling subpar chemicals under a luxury label. These are Vanessa's actions. Vanessa can face the consequences. Are you out of your mind? Vanessa shrieked, dropping the victim act entirely. You have to fix it. You always fix it. Just hack the girl's account and delete the video, like you did when I yelled at that rideshare driver. Keep your voice down, Thomas hissed at his golden goose before turning a stern glare on me. Claire. Claire, you are her sister, we are a family, we protect our own. Okay. If Vanessa loses this beauty retailer deal, she defaults on her mortgage in Calabasas. Your mother and I co-signed that loan. Ah, there it was. The real reason they were panicking. Okay. In my past life, that guilt trip worked flawlessly. I had sacrificed my own savings to help pay Vanessa's legal fees. I had let them drain me dry because I thought that was what love looked like. That sounds like a terrible financial decision on your part, Dad. I smiled. Margaret stepped forward, her face flushed with rage. Listen to me, you ungrateful little brat. We let you live in this duplex. We gave you an education. You will march into that office. Call your Perot contacts and draft an apology right now, or I swear to God I will evict you. Okay. I walked over to the hallway closet and pulled out the suitcase I had packed an hour ago. I don't need to evict me, I said, rolling the suitcase toward the door. I moved my lease to month in August. Okay. Remember, my rent is paid through the end of September. I'll have the movers clear out my furniture by Tuesday. They stared at me as if I had suddenly grown a second head. I had never spoken to them like this. I had never defied them. "I can't just leave," Vanessa screamed, her voice cracking with genuine panic. "Claire, please." Hey. A global cosmetics company is supposed to announce my ambassadorship tomorrow. If you don't fix this, they'll drop me. I'll be ruined. Then you better start typing, I said, pulling on my trench coat. Hey. I hear the Notes app apology is very popular these days. Just make sure you run a spell check. We all know how much you struggle with there, and there. Okay. I walked out the door, leaving them standing in my living room, mouths agape. As I closed the door behind me, I felt a physical weight lift from my shoulders. The air tasted sweeter. The sun felt warmer. I ordered a premium rideshare and headed to the boutique hotel downtown. Okay. By the time I checked into my suite, unpacked my clothes, and ordered room service, it was 1:00 p.m. I turned on my tablet to check the damage. Okay. Without me there to orchestrate a controlled burn, Vanessa and Derek had panicked. Okay. Left to their own devices, they had made the worst possible decision. Vanessa had posted an apology video. It was a disaster of epic proportions. She was sitting on the floor of her mansion. Strike one. The background was far too lavish. She was wearing no makeup. Strike two. Okay. It looked painfully forced, and she wasn't looking at the camera. Okay. Her eyes kept darting off screen, clearly reading from a teleprompter Derek had hastily set up. "Hey guys," Vanessa said in the video, her voice devoid of actual remorse. "I wanted to come on here and address the rumors." Okay. The video circulating right now is heavily edited and taken out of context. When I said those things, I was actually quoting a movie. And as for Nora Collins, my legal team is handling her defamatory claims. I burst out laughing. A truffle fry was halfway to my mouth quoting a movie. Who told her to say that? Derek was an idiot. Okay. The internet did not buy it. The comments were brutal. Quoting a movie? What movie? Confessions of a Scam Artist. Okay. She just threatened Nora again in her apology video. Unbelievable. The narcissism is off the charts. Okay. But the real fatal blow came 20 minutes later. Rebecca Stone, the VP of marketing at the beauty retailer, wasn't just a corporate suit. She was a savvy businesswoman who hated bad payroll. In my previous life, I had spent hours on the phone with Rebecca, crying, begging, pulling strings to convince her Vanessa was going to rehab to get her deal with the beauty retailer reinstated. This time, Rebecca's trigger finger was quick. A statement dropped on the beauty retailer's official social media account. The retailer stands for inclusivity, respect, and integrity. We do not condone the behavior exhibited by Vanessa Bennett in recent footage. Effective immediately, we are terminating our partnership with Vanessa and her private label skincare line. All products will be removed from our shelves and online stores by midnight. My phone, which I had unblocked just to watch the carnage, began to ring. It was Ethan, my fiancé. In my past life, this was the day we fought so bitterly, he threw his engagement ring on the kitchen counter. I had blown off our cake tasting to babysit Vanessa. I picked up on the first ring. Hey, Ethan, Claire. He sounded cautious. I just saw the news about Vanessa. Are you okay? Do we need to cancel the cake tasting at a local bakery this afternoon? Tears pricked my eyes, real tears this time. The sound of his voice, kind, considerate, putting me first, was a stark contrast to the family I had just walked away from. I had lost him once. I wouldn't lose him again. No, I said softly, smiling at the skyline outside my hotel window. We're not canceling anything, Ethan. In fact, I have all the free time in the world. I'll meet you there at 3. As I hung up the phone, a notification popped up on my screen. Vanessa's beauty account had gone live. Against my better judgment, I clicked on the notification. Vanessa was live on social media, and things had clearly spiraled out of control. She was pacing her kitchen, her face red, screaming into the camera. You guys are all just jealous haters, she was screeching to over 400,000 live viewers. That retailer needs me. I made them millions. You think you can cancel me? I am invincible. And then right there in the background, visible to nearly 500,000 people, Derek walked into the frame. He was holding a small, very illegal plastic baggie, clearly unaware that she was broadcasting live to the entire world. I took a screenshot. Oh, the dominoes were just starting to fall. And for the first time in my life, I wasn't going to catch a single one. The screenshot of Derek holding the baggie on Vanessa's social media live didn't just break the internet, it shattered it into a million unfixable pieces. By the time Ethan and I sat down at a corner table inside a bakery on Melrose Avenue, the digital carnage was absolute. I tasted a forkful of lemon raspberry buttercream, closing my eyes to savor the tartness while my tablet, resting on the table, delivered a steady stream of push notifications. The fallout wasn't a trickle. It was a corporate avalanche. Without me aggressively managing her inbox, negotiating DUIs, or threatening breach of contract lawsuits, Vanessa's empire collapsed in under 4 hours. Here is exactly how a multi-million-dollar influencer career dies when the scaffolding is removed. Tuesday, 16 p.m. A global cosmetics company released a swift, sterile statement on social media, confirming it had paused all current and future collaborations with Vanessa Bennett, pending an internal review. Tuesday, 45 p.m. A major activewear brand quietly scrubbed her curated workout collection from its homepage, replacing it with generic stock photos of leggings. 3:10 p.m. A celebrity news outlet published the screenshot of Derek and the baggie with a glaring yellow headline. The headline read, "Beauty influencer's livestream goes up in powder. 3:30 p.m. Vanessa's talent agency, a major firm, dropped her from its roster." I still can't wrap my head around it, Ethan said, reaching across the small marble table to interlock his fingers with mine. He looked at the tablet, then up at me, his brow furrowed with a mixture of concern and profound relief. Usually you'd be locked in your office with a migraine by now, fielding calls from lawyers. Why did you finally walk away? I squeezed his hand. I couldn't tell him the truth, that I had died in a mangled compact sedan on Interstate 405 because I put her mistakes above my own life. I couldn't tell him that the smell of rain still made my chest ache with phantom pain. I woke up this morning and realized I was carrying a building that was designed to fall, I said softly, grounding my response in the reality he could see. I'm done being her shield, Ethan. I choose you, I choose us. Ethan's eyes softened and he brought my hand to his lips. In my past life, this was the exact hour he had packed his bags, exhausted by my perpetual broken promises. Now he was looking at me like I was the only person in the room. Our peaceful moment was violently interrupted by the chiming of the bakery's front door. I didn't even have to turn around. I recognized the heavy, frantic click-clack of my mother's designer heels. Margaret and Thomas Bennett stormed into the bakery, completely ignoring the stunned glares of the other patrons. "How could you do this?" Margaret hissed, marching right up to our table. Her perfectly coiffed head was slightly unraveled, betraying her panic. I called Ethan's phone because you blocked us. Your sister is hyperventilating in her foyer. The police just showed up at her house in Calabasas to ask Derek some questions about that video. Thomas slammed his hand down on our table, rattling the fine china. You are going to get up, Claire. You are going to drive to Vanessa's house, and you are going to fix this with the police. Tell them it was powdered sugar. Tell them it was a prank. I don't care. Do your job. I slowly placed my fork down on the napkin. Before I could speak, Ethan stood up. He was 6'2" and broad-shouldered, and the sudden shift in his posture made my father take a physical step back. Do not raise your voice at my fiancé, Ethan said, his voice dangerously low, stripped of its usual warmth. And do not ever demand she clean up your other daughter's crimes again. Claire doesn't work for you. She is done. If you ever try to harass her like this again, I will personally file a restraining order. My parents stared at him, paralyzed by shock. For years they had viewed Ethan as an extension of my compliance, a quiet, accommodating accessory. They never realized he was just holding his tongue out of respect for me. She's throwing away her family, Margaret whispered, clutching her designer purse like a shield. No, Mom, I said, finally standing up to join Ethan. I'm throwing away a parasite. Vanessa dug her grave. You handed her the shovel. Now you can both lie in it. I dropped a $50 bill on the table for the cake, linked my arm through Ethan's, and walked out of the bakery. The Los Angeles sun felt blindingly bright, and for the first time in 26 years, I felt entirely weightless. That evening, from the safety of my luxury suite at a boutique hotel downtown, I made a phone call that would change the trajectory of my new life. I dialed the number for Nora Collins, the disabled indie artist Vanessa had maliciously targeted. When Nora answered, her voice was timid and shaking. Hello, Nora, I said, my voice steady and professional. My name is Claire Bennett. I am Vanessa's former crisis manager and her sister. I have all the emails, the original design files, and the internal memos proving she stole your work and threatened you with baseless litigation. I want to give them all to you, and if you'll let me, I want to represent you pro bono and help you launch your own brand. There was a long, stunned silence on the other end, then a tearful, shaky breath. Why would you do that for me? Because, I said, smiling at my reflection in the hotel window, I specialize in fixing things, and this time I want to fix the right thing. Sunday, September 8, 2024. Exactly 1 year had passed since the morning I woke up on my bedroom floor. I stood on the balcony of the new Malibu beach house Ethan and I had purchased, holding a mug of dark roast coffee, watching the Pacific Ocean crash against the shoreline. It was raining today, a torrential, violent downpour, the exact kind of rain that had once been the backdrop to my death. I took a deep, steadying breath, letting the smell of petrichor fill my lungs. I touched my chest. My heart was beating steadily. I was alive. I had survived the day of my reckoning. Over the past 12 months, the landscape of my life had utterly transformed. I had married Ethan in a private, joyous ceremony in Tuscany, completely free of my family's suffocating demands. Returning to Los Angeles, I launched my own public relations agency, strictly dedicated to protecting and elevating ethical creators and small businesses. My first client, Nora Collins, filed a massive civil suit against Vanessa and her LLC. With public opinion fiercely on Nora's side, the settlement was astronomical. We used the funds to launch Nora's own packaging design firm, which exploded in popularity. My public relations agency now had a waitlist 6 months long. Vanessa, on the other hand, had experienced a spectacular unmitigated freefall. Without me to play the puppet master, the consequences of her actions finally stuck. Derek, desperate to avoid drug charges after the Los Angeles police raided Vanessa's Calabasas home, threw her under the bus. He sold a massive tell-all interview to a major network detailing Vanessa's toxic behavior, her fake followers, and her financial illiteracy. By December, the Calabasas mansion was foreclosed on. My parents, having co-signed the massive mortgage, had their own assets frozen and were forced to downsize to a modest condo in the valley. They had tried to call me incessantly, vacillating between begging for financial help and screaming insults. I changed my number and instructed my security team to turn them away. But karma wasn't quite finished. Fate has a funny way of demanding its due even when you change the variables. At 11:45 p.m., on this rainy Sunday night, my new phone buzzed on the nightstand. I was curled up in bed next to Ethan reading a novel. I glanced at the screen. It was an unknown number, but the caller ID showed a number from the Los Angeles Police Department's Hollywood division. A cold shiver ran down my spine. The universe was trying to complete the loop. I answered the phone. "Hello. Is this Claire Bennett?" a gruff, tired voice asked. "This is Officer Grant with the Los Angeles Police Department. We have your sister, Vanessa Bennett, in custody. She was involved in a single-vehicle collision on Interstate 405. She's uninjured, but she blew a 18 on the breathalyzer. She used her one phone call to contact you. She's demanding you come down here, claim you were driving, and bail her out." The audacity was almost breathtaking. Even after everything, she still expected the ghost of the sister she abused to swoop in and save her. In my past life, this was the exact hour I had grabbed my keys, rushed out into the storm, hydroplaned on a slick patch of oil, and flipped my car into a ditch. She had called me from a VA pay booth that night, laughing while I bled out. Tonight she was calling from a holding cell. "Officer," I said, my voice as cool as the rain against my window, "I haven't spoken to that woman in a year. I have no intention of coming down there, and I certainly wasn't driving her car. Process her." "Ma'am, she's screaming that you're her crisis manager." "I am the CIO of my own public relations agency," I interrupted gently but firmly, "and Vanessa Bennett could not afford my retainer. Have a safe night, officer." I hung up the phone. I didn't block the number this time. I simply turned the phone off, set it on the nightstand, and slid back beneath the warm duvet. Ethan shifted in his sleep, his arm pulling me closer to his chest. "Everything okay?" he mumbled sleepily. "Everything is perfect," I whispered, resting my head against his shoulder. I didn't have to fix anything anymore. For the first time in my existence, the narrative was entirely my own. Vanessa would face the judge, the fines, the probation, and the glaring reality of her own irrelevance. The golden child had finally tarnished, and the scapegoat had built a kingdom from the ashes. I closed my eyes and listened to the rain, no longer a soundtrack to my demise, but a lullaby washing the last remnants of my old life away. If you enjoyed this story of karma, boundaries, and ultimate revenge, hit that like button. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do for toxic people is absolutely nothing. Just let them face their own consequences. Drop a comment below and tell me, would you have answered that final phone call from the police station, or would you have left her there? Don't forget to share this video with a friend who loves the drama and subscribe for more real-life Reborn stories.